Hello friends, myself Mr. Sunil Deokar, Head Department of English of Rao Bahadur Narendra Boroke College, Srirampur. Today I am going to deal with the topic syntax. In this syntax, I have already gone through the topic words. I have distinguished you between what is open word class and closed word classes. And day before yesterday, in our last lecture, I have gone through phrases, classes of phrases. So just like word class, in phrases also there are 6 classes of phrases. Already I have dealt with noun phrase. So there are 6 classes of phrases. That is noun phrase, verb phrase, adverb phrase, adjective phrase, genitive phrase and prepositional phrase. So in case of a noun phrase, I have already told you what might be the head of a noun phrase. So pronoun and noun, adjectives, enumerators. So I have gone in a detailed manner through noun phrase. And these other phrases, I would say prepositional phrase and genitive phrase is also a part of noun phrase, but with a slight distinction. That is preposition phrase and genitive phrase. And the other 3 phrases, they are adjective phrase, adverb phrase and verb phrase. So I will deal the remaining phrases one by one. So I will try to explain in short. So what is prepositional phrase? So prepositional, pre means before. So if you see this word pre, pre, pre means before. Position. So prepositional, prepositional. So prepositional. So what is the preposition? The preposition, it comes before the noun phrase. And we may also call, that means it as prepositional phrase is equal to PNP. Preposition is a particle. So it's a particle and so it comes before the noun phrase. So it's none another. If you remove the preposition aside, what remains? It is just a noun phrase, and the structure of a noun phrase is the same structure of a prepositional phrase, except what is that? The particle preposition, it comes before the noun phrase. Otherwise, the total structure of a prepositional phrase is the same as noun phrase. So no change. That's why in case of structure, I have told prepositional phrase is equal to PNP. So preposition, it comes at the initial position and the remaining it is just a noun phrase. So before that, what is the function of a prepositional phrase in a clause? So in a clause, prepositional phrase, it either function, that means in a clause, it always functions as an adverbial. It always functions as an adverbial. So it always, that means whatever might be the sentence. So he is, that means in a clause it will always function as an adverbial. So and at the same time in a phrase it functions as a modifier. So here in a sense I have told, that means in a clause it functions as a adverbial, but in a phrase it also functions as modifier. So here in a sense it also functions as a post modifier, I would say. So I have given some examples here. Just see the battle of words in the parliament. The battle of words in the parliament. So this entire phrase is a noun phrase. Which phrase it is? It is a noun phrase. The battle of words in the parliament. The entire phrase is a noun phrase. And these 2 subordinate phrases, they come in the same phrase. So what is it? The battle of words in the parliament. So here in a sense, this is prepositional phrase. First of all, what battle of words? In the parliament. If you remove in the parliament, it is again a noun phrase. But it tells us about the position. So the battle of what? Of words. Where? In the parliament. So it answers the questions. What? Time. Time when means, that means how, and place where, he can say. So prepositional phrases are adverbials of what? Time when, means and place. You can say the battle of words in the parliament. These two, you can say, these are the post modifiers, prepositional phrases. So the battle of words in the parliament, these are the two post modifier verb phrases. Prepositional phrases in that noun phrase. So that thing we should remember. So this structure, it is of a phrase, but when it comes in a clause, it functions as an adverbial. So one more example, her interest. Her interest, you can say, in the coins of Indian currency. So again here, these two are the prepositional phrases. What? Her interest, about what? In the coins of which? Of Indian currency. So you can say, so that means these two again, if you remember the coins, what is it? The coins, again it is noun phrase. But before that what comes? In comes. In is what? In is preposition. So that's why in the coins of Indian currency. So of Indian currency. So basically what is it? It is a noun phrase, and in that noun phrase what we see, these two prepositional phrases, they functions as post modifiers. So they function as post modifiers. So overall you can say prepositional phrase is equal to P and P. So PP is equal to P, noun phrase, or NP. These abbreviated forms I have used. So always we can't use the full forms. These abbreviated forms generally which are been followed in English grammar for today. You can say in English grammar universally these symbols, they are been followed. So we should try to understand these symbols. So they are being used by Leach himself in his book English grammar for today. So that is about what? That is about prepositional phrases. So already we have gone through noun phrase. Now I will not repeat all those things again here. So PP is equal to PNP. So that's about the prepositional phrase. Now I will turn to the genitive phrases. So genitive phrases, they are also the same structure. It is of what? It is of noun phrases. But what is it? They end with the particle S. S means particle apostrophe S. What does it indicate? It indicates belonging, or we may say possession. Belonging or possession, we may say. So I would say, what is that? First of all, what is the function of a genitive phrase? What does it functions as? So genitive phrase, it functions as head of a noun phrase or modifier in a noun phrase. So here you can say yours. What is it? It is genitive phrase. What does it functions as? I would say it functions as head of noun phrase. It functions as head of noun phrase, you can say. So head of noun phrase. So which phrase it is? It is genitive phrase. But what does it functions as? Head of a noun phrase. So you can say. Then next, his pen. His pen. What does it shows? It shows the belonging or possession. His. He can say. His pen. His, again it is what? Genitive phrase. What does it functions here as? Modifier. Premodifier. It comes before the head word. Head word is what? Pen is noun. It comes before the head word. So what does it functions as? Modifier in a noun phrase. So what does it functions as? Head of a noun phrase. First example, yours, you can say. And second, modifier in a noun phrase. So his pen. So here it functions as premodifier. Again, one more example which I have here, it is pronoun. His is pronoun. So we know what is pronoun and determiner. Pronoun is what? Pronoun, they are dummy nouns. What is pronoun? Pronoun, they are dummy nouns. So you can say Ram's pen. Instead of Ram's pen, I may say his pen. So likewise, what are these? These are the alternative words or the dummy words used for nouns. So that's why I have taken here two examples. So first, his pen. Here it is pronoun. Sorry. And second, Ram's engagement. Ram's apostrophe S. Again, it shows the possession. It shows the possession. You can say Ram's engagement. So it shows the possession. Whose engagement? Ram's. But what is the head word? Head word is engagement. What is it? It's noun. So Ram's engagement. But Rams is what? It is genitive phrase. What is it? It functions as pre-modifier in that noun phrase. So I would say these three phrases, noun phrase, prepositional phrase and genitive phrase, they are interconnected to each other. So if you want, that means if you study noun phrase in a detailed manner, if you know what are the pre-modifiers of a noun phrase, what can be the head of a noun phrase, and what can be the post modifiers of a noun phrase, then it is not at all hard to understand prepositional phrase and genitive phrase, you can say. So likewise, prepositional phrase is equal to PNP. P at the initial position, it is the preposition, and the noun phrase. The structure is the same as noun phrase. And secondly, genitive phrase, it has also the same structure as noun phrases, but it ends with particle apostrophe s. So it is nothing but it is again. So we say Ram. Ram, individually Ram, what is it? If we say Ram, it is the head word, it is noun and it is noun phrase. So what is the word class here? It is noun. So what here you can say? Rams, here it is, word is also noun, but apostrophe s, it has changed what? It has changed the format. So of the phrase, it becomes a genitive phrase, genetical you can say, we know. The genetical, that this word is a scientific, biological word. What does it refers to? It refers to belonging or attachment. So or possession, we may say. So likewise, here in its Rams, by adding Rams, it has become genitive phrase. Otherwise, individually Ram, it functions as the head of noun phrase. It functions as head of noun phrase. So the phrase is noun phrase. The word class of Ram is noun. Here also noun, but with the adding of apostrophe s, particle apostrophe s. So what it has changed is phrase structure. So it has changed this phrase structure and it has become what? It has become genitive phrase. So that is the major change which one should remember here in case of what? Genitive phrase. And next I will turn to these two phrases. They are adjective phrase and adverb phrase. So here also, that means they have a correlation. What? Adjective phrase and adverb phrase. Now, not major change is there about what? The pre and post modifiers of adjective phrase and prepositional phrase, adverb phrase. So first of all, I deal with adjective phrase. What is an adjective phrase? So the structure of an adjective phrase, it is what? It is, that means modifier, head, modifier. But before that, what is the function? The function of an adjective phrase in a clause, it always functions as a complement. So it always functions as a complement. So just for example, if I take this example, he is clever. So in this clause, if you see, in this clause, what is there? So clever is what? So clever is adjective. So clever is adjective and it is the head word, but what is the functional label? Here, what does it functions as? The phrase is AJP. What is it? It is adjective phrase. So it is adjective phrase and just a minute. It is adjective phrase and at the same time, what does it functions as? In a clause, it functions as complement. So it functions as complement. What does it gives us? It gives us additional information. It describes the noun. What is noun? He is noun. And the additional description of the noun or the quality, it has been given. What is he? He is clever. So he is clever, and so clever is an adjective. And clever adjective in a clause, it functions as an adjective phrase. And so that adjective phrase in a clause, it functions as a complement. So that is the thing where you can say, which I wanted to explain. So we can give n number of examples, but here what is this? This is the main clause, and in this main clause, this phrase, adjective phrase, it functions as a complement, you can say. So next further we may say, what is the structure? What is the structure of an adjective phrase. The structure of an adjective phrase. Head is always adjective. So head is always adjective. So here in a sense, I have taken here the example, very tall indeed. He is. If I write this sentence, he is very tall indeed. He is very tall indeed. He is very tall indeed. So if you see this sentence, so likewise here this is the main clause. This is the main clause, and in this here he is subject, is predicator, very tall indeed. So here tall is the head word. What is it? It is adjective, and the phrase is adjective phrase. And what does it functions in a clause? It functions as complement. And so likewise, as I have told you, in a clause, what is the head? The head of that phrase, which is this phrase, adjective phrase. What does it functions as? It always, that means the head of an adjective phrase is always adjectives. So adjectives we know. What are adjectives? So likewise the qualities. So what is an adjective? It describes the qualities of what? It describes the qualities of a noun. So he is very tall. So very tall, here tall is what? Tall is adjective. Tall is adjective, and what does it function in this adjective phrase? It functions as an head. So as I mentioned here, what is the head of an adjective? The head of an adjective phrase, it is always adjective. So that thing we should remember. He is tall, he is smart, he is intelligent, he is brilliant, he is colorful. So likewise, all these words, you can say they are adjectives. So they are adjectives, they give us what you can say. London is a big city. So big is what? It is adjective. Big, but there big city, it comes in a noun phrase. Big city is a noun phrase. So like here, he is very tall. This phrase itself is what? It is adjective phrase. So here tall is what? It is head of an adjective phrase. Next I would say, what are the premodifiers? What are the premodifiers of an adjective phrase? The premodifier of an adjective phrase. Here very. What is very? Very is also adverb. Very is adverb. Very is adverb. So what does it functions as? It functions as premodifier. What does it functions as? It functions as premodifier. So as I have told you, that means what is the premodifier of an adjective phrase? It is always adverb. It is always adverb. And what is the post modifier of an prepositional, of an adjective phrase? It might be adverb or prepositional phrase. It might be adverb or prepositional phrase. So here in a sense, what here you can say, indeed is what? It is post modifier. What is it? It is adverb. So you can see here, pre-modifier and post modifier. Both of them we could see here, they are adverbs. So they are adverbs. Likewise, this second example, too hot for comfort. Too hot for comfort. Here also if you can see here, too hot. Too is adverb. Hot is adjective. For comfort is what? This is prepositional phrase. What does it functions as? It functions as post modifier. What is the head word? Head word is adjective. The phrase is adjective phrase. Which phrase it is? It is adjective phrase. And what does it functions as? So that means the pre-modifier, as I have told you, the pre-modifier is adverb. Pre-modifier is adverb. Post modifier is what? It is either adverb. So here indeed. So too very tall indeed. Post modifier, here it is adverb, and here it is prepositional phrase. So we could not cover all those things, but to get you in touch with these things, so I have taken this. So for comfort, it is prepositional phrase. So that is the structure of what? That is the structure of adjective phrase. So same is the structure of what? Same is the structure of adverb phrase. So what is the structure of adverb phrase? So the function of an adverbial phrase, it always functions as adverbial. It always functions as adverbial. So in a clause, it always functions as an adverbial. So yesterday he came late. Yesterday, what is yesterday? Yesterday is adverb. So yesterday he came late. If I write this sentence, yesterday he came late. He came late. If I write this sentence here, yesterday he came late. What is it? Here yesterday it is adverbial. Yes, it is adverbial phrase. Yesterday. What does it tells? It tells us about the time. What time? Yesterday. But what does it functions as? Adverbial. Where? In a clause that I have mentioned here. Adverbial in a clause. So clause is a complete sentence. In that clause, this phrase, adverbial phrase, it will function as adverbial. Adverbial phrase, it will function as adverbial. Capital A means adverbial. Next, I would say, in case of what? Post modifiers. What are the post modifiers of an adverbial phrase? They too are adverbs and prepositional phrases. They too are what? Adverbs or prepositional phrases. So likewise, here I have given two examples. Rather too quickly. So rather too quickly. Here quickly is what? Head word. Here quickly is head word. What is it? It is adverb. So likewise, head word, it is adverb. And even rather and to, both of them, they are degree adverbs. Rather to, quickly. Rather too quickly. These two, they are also adverbs. As I have told you, what might be the pre-modifiers? Both these, rather and to, both of them, they are adverbs. They are adverbs. They are pre-modifiers, which comes before the head word. They are pre-modifiers. Rather and to, both of them, they are pre-modifiers. Head is also what? Head is also adverb. And in the second example, more quickly than last year. More quickly than last year. So than last year, it is prepositional phrase. What is it? It is prepositional phrase, as I have mentioned. So then last year, this is what? This is prepositional phrase. So what are the post modifiers? The post modifiers, they might be prepositional phrase. And here more is again the degree. More quickly. More, it is adverb. And quickly, it is adverb, but here it is head word. And more is pre-modifier. More is pre-modifier. So that I wanted to explain you here. And the last phrase which is remaining, that is verb phrase. The last phrase which I am going to deal with here now, that is the verb phrase. So what is the function? What is the function of verb phrase? The function of verb phrase, at all level we have dealt with this two, function and structure. The function of verb phrase in a clause, it always functions as a predicator. What does it functions as? It always functions as a predicator. Where? In a clause. In a clause, it always functions as a predicator. So, and what is the structure? So likewise, she is coming tomorrow. She is coming tomorrow. What is this? This is the main clause. In this, which is the verb phrase? Is coming is the verb phrase. What does it functions as? It functions as a predicator. So we should know, verb is different, but the functional level, what does it functions as? It functions as a predicator. So verb is different, but the functional level, it is what? It is predicator. Is coming, this is be form, auxiliary verb, and this is the main verb. It is ing form. That means is coming, present continuous tense. You can say she is coming, she is coming tomorrow. So she is coming tomorrow. So likewise, here you can say is coming. What is it? It is verb phrase. It is verb phrase, and that means it functions as a predicator. Then next I would say, what is the structure? The structure of verb phrase is auxiliary main verb. So the structure, what are, you can say the pre-modifier, we can auxiliary main verb. The main verb comes at the final position. Main verb is always at the final position, and before it, these are the auxiliaries. They are also identified as was operator verbs. By what name? By operator verbs. And these operator verbs, we may say, what are these operator verbs? They are either primary auxiliaries or modal auxiliaries. Primary auxiliaries we know, be, have, do. And modal auxiliaries can, could, may, might, shall, should, will, would, need to, ought to. These are the modal auxiliaries. So likewise in the structure, that means before main verb, it is always followed by what? It is always followed by, you can say this operator verb or these auxiliary verbs. They are none another but who are they? They are the, they pre-modify the main verb. They come before the main verb, and that's why they are called as auxiliary verbs. They are called as auxiliary verbs or operator verbs, which can be divided into two categories. That is modal primary verbs be, have, do, and operator verbs, modal auxiliaries can, could, shall, should, will, would, need to, ought to. So those are the modal auxiliaries. So these different examples we can also, he is here in a sense, he is coming, I have been to Simla, he can say. So likewise in this manner, so she has been, she is coming, he is coming, is coming. So he is eating, he must be there, must be, what is it? It is again modal, that means it is verb phrase. So in this manner we can give different examples of what? Verb phrases also. So just you can say to make you aware about the structure of a verb phrase. So overall I have dealt with these 5 phrases today. They were you can say verb phrase, genitive phrase, prepositional phrase, adverb phrase and adjective phrase. So overall, according to the classes of phrases which are being divided into 6 types, I have discussed them in a detailed manner so that you could easily comprehend them. So that was my main motto. Thank you.